I just want to make sure we thank our design team that worked on today's project, Antoine Predock and Architects, Janes Corp, Wilson and Company, Tool Design, and Planned Collaborative. We also have some representation here from folks, some of whom you'll hear from later, like Councilor Joaquin Baca, Luke Smith from the New Mexico DOT. We also want to thank the governor for her support of this project and the funding that we received for it. Rio Metro as well, and Hilma Chenoweth from the New Mexico Department of Transportation Commission. And also we have Len Romano here from our Friends of the Rail Trail group. If you want any information on how to join the Friends of the Rail Trail, seek out the man in the blue shirt with the British accent, and he'll sign you up. With that, all right, mate. With that, I'll hand it over to Mayor Keller.
Yeah, thanks, Terry. All right. Good morning, everyone. A couple of things to share. First off, thanks everyone for coming. I know it's screaming hot. It's only 10 o'clock, but we tried to make this early because imagine if we were doing this at the normal 1 o'clock time. So we're here today, of course, to celebrate the opening of this little piece of this incredibly big project. And this piece, though, is essentially a seminal cornerstone of this project. And a little bit of background, most folks here know this, but the idea of having a pedestrian overpass here has been something that goes back at least 40 years. Basically, somewhere around the 70s when all this was set up, it just choked off any bicycle and pedestrian traffic, and it literally divided downtown. You know, we use terms like Edo and downtown. Those are modern terms that are a reflection of this essentially rail wall that we built that divided the two communities. That was really never true until also, and rightfully so because of security and safety, additional fencing and so forth. But if you go back, even when the convention center was built, this was just one neighborhood. This was all part of downtown. So the vision has always been like, well, how do we restore that? How do we reconnect downtown to itself or its former self? How do we reconnect downtown to Edo? So the idea is, we need as many at-grade crossings as possible. And I do want to just highlight, we were able to do one about 6 years ago, which is just one block that way. And that alone has actually transformed what is now the Arts and Theater District on First Street, which is just coming into its own. We're actually opening a new gallery there. But it just shows like how much this matters. Like our built environment, in some ways, we're just like any other organism, like in a physical place. And so, we're just people running around these big buildings and walls and things like this. And when you break them down, we interact differently. And that's what we've already seen. And that's what the goal is here. So the idea is we've got to have an easy way for pedestrians and bikes to cross that is not sort of going underneath and all of the issues that we have with the current setup. So hence this project in terms of, in general, what it means for downtown. The second part of this is, of course, this is the epicenter of the rail trail. And it was envisioned that way by Antoine Predock. It was envisioned as that actually also 30 years ago when the rail trail was first conceived as an idea. And as a quick reminder, because we always have to tell the story of the rail trail, it's a trail that connects downtown through the rail lines and then curves across the rail spurs and connects downtown to Old Town. And then it goes to the Bosque and connects it back around to the Hispanic Cultural Center and then the rail yards. And amazingly, if you look at it, it forms a heart around the center of the city, which is why our rail trail logo is in the shape of a heart, which interestingly we have on material here. We have some stickers somewhere if folks don't have their rail trail apparel. But this idea is, of course, to have a pedestrian parkway that connects us both for commuting that is not on a street in a car, and also for recreation, especially on the weekends and the evenings. And so it is meant to unify, to reconnect us, to energize our historic neighborhoods, and to also make it sure that for even tourists, like they have ways to get to Old Town and downtown that are pedestrian and bicycle friendly. So it has multiple impacts. As a whole, we have no doubt that the Rail Trails project itself is the largest undertaking the city has taken in terms of placemaking since like the tram or building the zoo. It will be that transformational for our city. Every New Mexican, when it's done, will know about the rail trail. Now, the last part of this, of course, is the vision. And the vision is what the brilliance of Antoine Predock laid on top of this. And what he's done is he has mapped out essentially a series of art installations and collages and sculptures and so forth that literally will tell the story of this place as you go on the rail trail. So as you're literally like in the heart of the city and you're walking around, you're going to have different stations, like train stations. And so each station is going to tell you a piece of our history. Sometimes it's the ecological history, sometimes it's the indigenous community's history, sometimes it's the coming of the railroad, and there's roughly 12 or so different sort of auras, he called them, that we will learn about and relearn about as we actually use that trail just as folks who live here. It's a beautiful, beautiful vision. And of course, this here is will be the future home of the Crown, Antoine's tumbleweed. And so the tumbleweed that got stuck in the railroad tracks, which actually has embedded in it the slices of sculpture all around the rail trail that you see even in Old Town are slices of that tumbleweed. So I'll stop dorking out on the Antoine vision, but it's incredible. And so today we of course have, this is 1/3 of the project, so we do want to be clear, more or less. And so we're pretty quick. We got a little bit of paperwork left, but then we're going to start that second third, which will connect it, of course, to the other side. But in the meantime, we are going to celebrate the return of easy pedestrian access to the rail runner. So we hope this is very helpful for the rail runner and our friends there who do such great work. And the rail runner is a huge asset for the city. And now we have sort of returned this idea of a pedestrian transportation plaza that also connects us, to Santa Fe and to Berlin. Okay, so that was a lot, but it's because this is a big project, and this is the first actually completion of any of it other than the piece down in Old Town. So this is actually the tip of the spear for this project and represents much, much more to come. All right, so now let's hear from some of the folks who worked really hard on this project, and let's start with our DMD director of all public works. She builds things, that's her job, Jennifer Turner.
Thank you. Good morning. Wow, I am always loud. But in the Department of Municipal Development, it is my job to build infrastructure that is safe and accessible for everyone. But today is about so much more than that. And I, like many of you, have stood on that platform holding my kiddos' hands, excited to go somewhere. Well, today we honor that hope and that joy by celebrating here, the destination for really the center of downtown. And that vision and that magic would not have happened without Antoine Predock and our incredible design team at Wilson, at Planned, at Tool. And we're just so grateful for their support. I also want to thank project manager Anthony Villanueva, who he deserves a round of applause. As well as our fabulous partners at Jane's who have been with us every step of the way. I also want to thank our partners at NMDOT and at Rio Metro and at the Transit and all of our partners who always said yes to this magnificent project. And I'm happy to say, as Mayor said, this is just the first step. There is more to come, and I look forward to seeing everyone to celebrate the next phase. Thank you.
So, it's just a pleasure to see this finally come together. This is the first major radical transformation to this bridge since it was built after during the New Deal by Clyde Tingley. I mean, this is a big change. This really makes downtown and the Central Crossing a centerpiece of activity. As the mayor referenced, it's shutting down kind of this dangerous area, the disconnection that exists, the lack of usage that exists, and make this a more interactive area where people are catching transit, they're crossing from downtown to Edo, they're catching the rail trail, which should be great for not only our Albuquerque residents, but for tourists as well, coming out of the convention center, looking for something to do, somewhere to go. This really creates a new vision and a new centerpiece for downtown. These improvements and the artwork that you see, will be seeing on this site, the landscaping, the really wonderful lighting that you'll see at night. I mean, we got really great features like these posts that we have here, but we also, if you want to find and dig around a little bit, you'll see there's little lights under the handrails right over there by the fence that illuminate the surface of the pavement at night and really make this look very dramatic and different from what it used to be. We can remember when we had archways here and a little building up top. that the mayor and the council took a hammer to last year and started the demolition on the site. All that has come down to make this really a centerpiece of what's going on downtown. So at Metropolitan Redevelopment, I wanted to thank our staff, and then also thank Mayor Keller, Councilor Baca, and all the project partners who helped to make this happen. Thank you.
And now our city councilor, a big believer in pedestrian and bicycle improvements downtown and the rail trail, Councilor Joaquin Baca.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, everybody who's out here. Thank you, DMD, and everybody who had a hand in building this. I want to expand a little bit on the mayor's earlier statement of this going back 40 years. I think it actually goes back further than that. Peter Rice could probably give us a better date, going back 60, 70 years. But as far back as I can remember, which is the mid-90s, everybody's always wanted a crossing and something done about the tunnels. And I bring that up. You know, I remember, gosh, at this point, it would have been about 5 years ago, as part of the neighborhood association, we sat down with Lawrence Rael, then the CAO of the city, and we were talking about different things downtown, how you can fix this and that. And I mentioned, you know, I wish we could just do the overpass. And Lawrence said, well, why don't you get the neighborhood associations together, get a petition, do a press conference, and, you know, just to show support, and then I'll get that part moving. And I remember, you know, a woman, Jennifer Esquivel, who was really passionate about that tunnel, walked around with her daughter, who was about 5 years old at the time, and collected 150 signatures before we did that, on top of all the other signatures that were collected. And I bring that up just because so many people have a role in projects like this, transformational projects like this happening, you know, along the way, especially something that's been going on for 50 plus years. I know for my part, you know, my envision was just let's get it done and have the rails go as well. But I'm a little too pragmatic sometimes. And so kudos to the mayor and his team for building something that's a whole lot nicer, right? We can't have nice things in Albuquerque. So with that, you know, I look forward to the next parts getting done. I look forward to the rail trail getting done, and people actually using it. I really think it really is going to be transformational in terms of connecting downtown and people, pedestrians and tourists and our businesses. There's no doubt in my mind about that. So kudos and thank you to everyone who's had a role in all of this.
Thanks so much, Counselor. And you know, anytime you're dealing with rail and roads, there is one entity that really is at the forefront of making everything possible from a legal perspective. And so we very much appreciate NMDOT has stuck with us through ins and outs and BNSFs and everything else in between. So please welcome Luke Smith from NMDOT.
Thank you, Mayor. I didn't have any prepared remarks this morning, so I'll be mercifully brief, but thank you, Director. Thank you, Mayor, for giving me the opportunity to say a few words today. It's been a real privilege to work with the city and their team, collaborating with them on getting us this far, just working through the design and the construction and all the interagency coordination with this. We're so happy to see this get this far, and we're just really looking forward to seeing, just working with the city and with all our collaborators here on these next phases and making this a critical connection. And yeah, big day. I'm real proud of you all. Thank you.
Thanks so much. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to have a fun little ribbon cutting. We want to invite everyone who's here, everyone who cares about the rail trail to join us. And before I get off the microphone, I do want to ask everyone a little bit of a call to action. You know, as with any project, you know, there's always some disagreement here and there. And all our ask is remind people of the powerful vision of the rail trail. You know, it's something that is probably going to take like 20 years to do like the entire thing. I mean, it has like 20 phases, but we've got to do our part like while we're all here. And so I do need you to evangelize a little bit. Remind folks, like, you know, we don't want to 70 years from now being like, well, 70 years ago when it's been 140 years. We can't wait that long, right? So we have to keep the train going on this track. And that does take all of us to keep talking about it. And please support the Friends of the Rail Trail. Len, wave your hand again. See him after if you want to find out how to get involved. And tell everyone about how special and amazing the rail trail is.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah!